See, when I was a kid, I remember I used to hate walking in lines. And I know that the reason why is because I had a natural inclination to be abstract, to do what I want to do. You see, this is going to be a deep video right here. But before we get started, go ahead, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, and hit the subscribe button. This is Left Side of the Brain. Now, I never liked walking in lines because it reminded me, I just felt silly. I used to always say to myself, like, you standing up in line and they tell the teacher to put your two fingers over your mouth and you standing in line. You know, I always felt tight in those situations. It felt robotic. Now, as a kid, mind you, I'm not going to say intelligent enough, but I wasn't, cognitive enough to put the words to it. You know what I'm saying? Because as kids, you operate like a woman pretty much operates, off of emotions. And not to deviate from the topic, but logic is basically the ability to put words to emotions and to understand why one feels and operates and reacts to situations in the way that you do or one do. And so as a child, I could feel that something wasn't right about it, but I couldn't buck against it because the teachers would, you know what I'm saying, they was the ones telling you that get in line or no recess until y'all straighten up. No recess. And then, the injustice in the whole line thing. One student would act out and they would mess it up for everybody in the line. You see, so what I'm getting at is the initial stages of the HPB programming. It starts when we this tall, when we this big. It starts in our tender years upon this earth. You see? And that's basically, hold up, y'all. I'm walking up this aisle, right? Okay, it was never mind, I didn't even bring it up. It's you see, during those tender years, that's when a person is most vulnerable and susceptible to being brainwashed. But they don't call it brainwashing. It's just they grooming you for adulthood. Okay? So being in these lines, when one kid would act out, everybody in the class would have to pay the penalty for what one kid did. Okay? And I never liked that. That never sat well with me. I always thought in the back of my head, why am I having to be punished for what someone else did for shouting out? It never sat well with me. You see? But when it comes to this lying thing, I always felt like just a leg on the body of a centipede. You know what I'm saying? It's like I felt like a leg on the body of a centipede. You know, like a centipede is real long and it got all of them legs. That's how I felt standing in line. I felt like a leg on a centipede. So when one person moved forward, I felt like one of the legs having to move after the leg that was before me. And the whole line, that was like a worm to me. So I was in this worm line, just walking. And here's the thing, the subliminal message in making kids line up, there's a rank and order to it. It's teaching the kids how to fight and war. And you may say, what you mean, left side? Because think about it. Remember when it was time to line up, the teachers would always say, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. The teachers will always say, who want to be the line leader? I do. Everybody would like raise their hand and everybody would jump out of their seats fighting to be the first one to get into line, which ended up a lot of times with kids injuring themselves, falling over each other, scraping their knees just to be the first one in line. A stupid line. But being first gave them this feeling of superiority over the rest of the students in the class. So it gave them this sense of superiority over the rest of the students in the class. Okay? And basically what they was doing, they were planting seeds of anarchy, which we didn't find out about until later when we grew up. And they was planting seeds of coup d'etat. Coup d'etat. Because I'm gonna explain. Y'all know what a coup is, like a government coup. When the teacher relinquished her power by saying, who wants to be the leader of the line? What did the kids do? They all reacted because there was this vacuum of no power that had to be filled. So every student in the classroom turned into anarchy. So everybody was trying to be the leader of the line. Okay? And a lot of people got hurt, just like in countries when a ruler is assassinated or for whatever reason loses their seat of power, what eventually happens? Violence breaks out in the streets. Anarchy. Okay? So they were planting these seeds in us as little children of hostile takeover. They was planting seeds of animal behavior. They was planting seeds of you need a leader in order to move forward. And no matter how the leader comes into power, whether that leader pushes somebody to the side to get to the top position, it matters not. Because as soon as that kid got in the front of the line, guess what? They was the ones who led the line. And sometimes the teacher would admonish a student for pushing somebody to get to the front of the line, but sometimes they wouldn't. So the teacher, during that moment when she relinquished her power and allowed the kids to just run to see who would be the line leader, and once that kid becomes the line leader, when the teacher didn't reprimand that student, and then all of the other students just fell in formation, you know what she was acting as, the teacher, for not reprimanding that student who beat everybody to the front of the line? She was acting like a secret government behind the student who beat everybody to the front of the line. Because once she violently made it to the front of the line, then the teacher retook control of the situation and told the person who won at the race to be the line leader, that's when she told him to proceed. So she was calling the shots behind the curtain. She's not even the one in the line. Y'all gotta follow me. You gotta keep up with Left Side. You gotta keep up. Because if you don't, it's gonna sound like I'm just talking a bunch of gibberish. You gotta keep up with me. I told y'all this is the realest channel on the planet. She herself wasn't in the line living like everybody else. Just like the shadow governments who run this world. They not in the same schools with you. They not living in the same neighborhoods with you, but they appoint someone to lead you. Even if that person comes into power, whether it's by hook or crook, they still calling the shots behind that dictator, whether you know it or not. So they was teaching us how to be slaves, pretty much. That's what I'm saying. They was teaching us how to be slaves. And now that I'm older, I also see how nothing has changed and how shadow governments have been running this world. And they was telling us that even in kindergarten classes, when they was telling us to line up. Do y'all get what I'm saying so far? If you don't, rewind from the beginning and listen carefully, okay? I'll be right back, y'all. Now, see, this line thing, it also trained us to be robotic. Robotic. You see, when you was in that line, you was blindly going wherever the line leader took you. We wasn't even thinking. When you really think about it, when you go back to them kindergarten years, when you was in that line, you wasn't really thinking. You was just walking forward because somebody else was walking forward in front of you. You wasn't thinking. A lot of the times you was twiddling around with your fingers, bumping into a person in front of you, playing with the strings on your book bag. You wasn't looking at where you was going. Let's just be honest. So all of this stuff, they was just implanting the seeds of how to be a follower inside of us. That's all they was doing. They wasn't trying to teach us to be no leader. They was teaching us to be a follower. You see ducks, how little ducks walk around. They be following behind the mother duck. Well, we the same way as humans. Walking in lines. Because they... See, one thing about lines, let me tell y'all this when I get around these people. Let me tell y'all this. See, one thing about lines, it compartmentalizes your brain at an early age. That's why if I was over the school system, I wouldn't teach kids getting in line. I would teach moving in groups. Just like if you went to the park with your friends, y'all wouldn't be walking in a line. You would just be walking in a group. You would just be walking in a group. But see, walking in lines, it compartmentalizes the brain. Okay? That's why stores, the aisles in stores, are situated in lines. Now you might say, well, left side, that's because so people can find things and it'll be well organized. No. Y'all gotta stop thinking like that. You gotta understand, when you was a kid, you come into this world to be abstract, not to be in lines. To be abstract. Trees in nature, they don't grow in straight lines. People will plant trees in straight lines. Y'all ain't following me. Let me give you an example, because I like to validate everything I'm saying with the principles and things that we have taught before on this channel. What do I always say? The law of exceedings. Nothing in the physical world. This is what the law of exceedings means. Nothing in the physical world exceeds what takes place in the spiritual world. So in the physical world, you can see that trees don't grow in straight lines like that. So that means we as people who are born into a physical world where things don't grow in straight lines, that means we shouldn't be operating in a line format. You get what I'm saying? We were supposed to be abstract. But because we wasn't trained to be abstract, that's why if the stores were situated in like a maze, people would feel lost. But really, the world is a maze. Man is the one who laid down streets in this straight pattern type of form. But we were created to be able to navigate through a maze. Our natural brain can work itself out of a maze, but they work us out of being able to navigate through a maze by situating everything in this line, orderly line, A, B, L, C, D, E. They changed our natural instincts of being able to be abstract. Like I said, when you're born, they force you to walk in lines. They changed our natural instincts and they lined up our perspective. They put everything in lines. You get what I'm saying? But we was created to work ourselves through a maze. And that's why when somebody do something fantastic, they say, "Oh, I was amazed by what you did." Or you may be saying about what I'm telling you right now that, "Dang, left side, that's amazing what you're saying." The key word, maze. You know why it's amazing? Because I'm saying something that's outside of the lines. So, hence, you are saying it's amazing. Because I'm thinking outside of the lines. I'm going back to the natural way of doing things and seeing and thinking about things in a maze. I'm putting you back in your amazing mind. Because all of this is a maze, but they turned it into lines. Y'all get what I'm saying? Now I know this video is kind of, for somebody first listening to this, you probably got a lot of programming. You probably got a lot of kickback to what I'm saying. But if you will really listen to this, you will understand what I'm saying. It may require you to rewind, listening to this a couple of times. But I guarantee you, it'll be amazing. And that's what this channel is about. This channel is about getting you out of the program. The program is demonic. That's why they tell you that it's demonic in the very word. The program, the RAM. What y'all know about the Baphomet? You know that RAM? That Baphomet RAM? That's why they call it a program. The program, the pro-RAM. They want you to be pro-demonic and anti what's right. That's why it's a program. They want you to be pro-RAM, pro-Baphomet, not anti, not con. They don't call it a con-gram, because that would be against the program. So they say they want you to be program, pro-RAM, pro-Baphomet, pro the demonic HPB system. That's what they want you to be on. They want y'all to be on that kind of time. But I'm gonna end this video right here. Tell me what y'all think about it in the comment section below. And this is Left Side of the Brain. HPBs, no, we say Jaguars up, HPBs down. Like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit the Cash App sometimes, y'all. Donate to the channel, because I got some big things in mind that I want to do, you know. And y'all need to start supporting this channel. Y'all getting the realest information on earth. They don't allow me to do you know, super chat and all of that. So y'all know I can never do that type of stuff. So like y'all already know the type of stuff we talk about. And somebody had left a comment one time and was like, "Oh, Left Side, your camera work is annoying." Okay, to that person, I got the person that left that comment, I got something to say. Like, this is how I've been since day one. Y'all know this has been an underground channel since day one. It's never been no Hollywood YouTube channel where we sit up behind, you know, a flashy light and a beautiful background and decoration. That's not how this program started. Since day one, Left Side of the Brain, I'm out in the field. I give you a real-time display of everything I'm talking about, because we speaking about the human prison ball realm. So thus, I do my videos out in nature, out in society. Have you ever seen a National Geographic program and they sitting behind a desk telling you about nature? No, they out in the field. If they talking about wildlife, why would they be up in some high-rise building talking about wildlife? They're going to be out in the wild, filming the animals, just like me. I'm out in the wild, filming these human prison bar animals, speaking about them, telling you about how they behave, just like the National Geographic channel. Okay, so, but if y'all want me to modify the channel, because this is also a form of entertainment. It's real entertainment, but it's still entertainment. So if y'all want me to modify the channel and want me to come up here with a suit and a tie and sitting on a leather couch, like I told a person, I could easily do that. I could get one of them, you know, one of them studio lights, get me a little a camera pod. I can sit on a leather chair and I'll be like everybody else on YouTube. Have a little tie. If that's the look that y'all want, let me know. Or do y'all like it raw and unfiltered like this? Y'all let me know, because we can do it either kind of way. Like, but anyway, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. And this is Left Side of the Brain, signing out.